How's it going, guys? This is Stefan. Welcome back for another video. Today we are in the ROG stand.
Hello everyone, my name is Ricky. I'm the regional trainer for ROG. Today we'll be talking about all things ROG. So this is our new product, the ROG Ally X. It's essentially a gaming handheld which is powered up by Windows 11.
Perfect. Let's talk about some of the specs because I think this is very important for
100%.
many gamers. Let's talk about what is the specs.
So when it comes to specifications, the processor in this device is powered by the AMD Z1 Extreme processor. If we're going to talk about layman terms, most people are unsure about what it is. We can be compared to a Ryzen 7 processor. Great thing about this spec at the moment, it is 24 gigabytes of DDR5 memory. And it's actually running at 7,500 megahertz. So for those that are a bit tech enthusiasts, they know what I'm talking about. It's the fastest RAM that you can get on the market currently. One of the great things about storage is this year round, what's different between this product and the previous model, the ROG Ally, is the storage. This has 1 terabyte of NVMe SSD, so it's a full desktop SSD, that number 2280, which is easily accessible now. Compared to the previous version, we had the laptop SSD 2230, which is the smaller chipset. So in terms of expandability, you can upgrade this up to 8 terabytes, whereas the previous model, it's around 2 terabytes or so.
That's amazing. Like, this is a lot of storage.
Yes.
Plus, we know that the modern games right now, they're very huge, they're very big, so you need quite a lot of space in order to maintain all the updates, this is very, very good. So I think many people will be happy about all the storage.
Yeah, and I think in terms of obviously games nowadays, just like you said, Call of Duty alone nowadays is like around 100 gigs. So if you can imagine about storage space, it's very, very important as gamers to have a lot of decent storage. But this isn't just a gaming device. Now, something that, you know, most people might think to see from afar is they think this is only pure gaming. But as you have a look here, it is powered by Windows 11. So whatever you can do normally on a PC or a laptop, you can run on this device. Now, matter of fact, I use this in the office as my daily replacement now for a regular laptop. Now, you might be thinking, why would you do that? The reason being is the weight. This is only 687 grams. So in terms of portability, it's super portable. I can carry it around in my hand. I can put it in my backpack. All I need to do is carry an external kind of a keyboard and mouse, have a Thunderbolt cable to connect to a monitor or projector, and I can basically work off of this device alone.
So can you please just showcase a little bit about the new functions?
So yeah, so we've got a custom program called the Armoury Crate. This is the command center. So one of the great things about this device is the fact that you can actually choose the amount of power outage that goes to your video games. So for example, if you're playing kind of less intensive video games that don't require much power, for example, you can adjust it to silent mode, which provides outputs of 13 watts. If you want to have, like, you know, general kind of gameplay but don't want to use maximum performance like battery, you can put it in performance mode at 17 watts, and then when you're playing AAA title games that requires more power, you can put it in turbo mode. It's currently at 25 watts, as you can see, but when you actually have it plugged in, it actually pushes to 30 watts. So you can get much more power out of the device, meaning more smoother gameplay and more power output to your actual product itself. Something great about this product as well is, as I mentioned before, with our kind of custom program Armoury Crate, we have this on a laptop. So we're specifically on the ROG Ally, we've kind of redesigned it to look much more better on a smaller inch display. And as you can see, this is my own personal device. I have a lot of different titles of games all in one place. So I can have games from EA, from Xbox Game Pass, from Steam, rather on a traditional desktop where it's quite hard to find. Everything is located in one place. And as most people are wondering, do you have other platforms apart from Steam? The answer to that is yes. As you can see here with all the game platforms, these are all pre-installed game platforms. So you can have EA, Xbox, Steam, Xbox Cloud Gaming, Ubisoft Connect, ROG Galaxy. Here are just some of the basic kind of programs that are pre-installed. You can also go out your way to install things like Riot Games, Epic Games, or any other platforms out there that can be accessible on PC or laptop. But as you can see here, this is a full version of Windows 11. This isn't a custom version of Windows 11. This is the fully fledged version of Windows 11 that you will normally see on a desktop PC or a laptop. But when it comes to running day-to-day tasks, you can still plug it into a monitor. You can still plug in a mouse and keyboard, get your work done on your Word, your PowerPoint, and Excel. And it's basically a laptop replacement on the go.
So basically you're saying that this is like just a small version of a PC.
Yes.
In your pocket.
100%. It is a portable gaming PC PC device, and we've just won an award recently from Trusted Reviews. This has just won an award for best portable gaming PC. So in terms of kind of price point at the moment, it is $799. So it's super extremely good for budget. Like if you're looking for something that's not too expensive, gaming laptops usually start off around £1,000 price point, right?
That's true.
It can be quite expensive, especially if you're coming from a console to a PC and you want to kind of be a casual gamer but still have the ability to do your work on. This is a fantastic product to start off with.
Okay, another thing which is I think is very important is the battery life. How is the battery life?
So battery life's amazing on this. So compared to the previous generation or previous version, this is running 80 watt hours. So essentially it is the similar kind of power as you get in a laptop. So AAA title games you get around 3 to 3.5 hours, for example. If you're running indie games, you get actually a decent amount of time. You get up to 7 hours depending on what game you play. We've tested out Hades at the moment, Hades 2. You get around 5 to 6 hours on the battery, which is fantastic. Most importantly, it is running Thunderbolt and it is USB-C. So when it comes to charging, full charge from 0 to 100% usually will take around an hour, hour 30, maybe sometimes hour 45 minutes. But compared to a moderate day-to-day laptop, it's pretty quick on charge.
I think it's very quick because most of the laptops these days they charge quite long because they have a massive battery inside. But 1 hour, 1.5 hours, that's nothing in my opinion.
Right? That's it, and that's the most important thing about it. I think in terms of obviously the whole reason why we wanted to obviously showcase this product here at EGX today is to allow customers to know that this isn't just like other handhelds out there where you're limited to playing those platform games. This is a Windows device, which means you can play all of your games all in one place. So whether it's Xbox Game Pass, whether it's Steam, whether it's EA, for example, all of these platforms you can install on here and play without no restrictions.
You mentioned something that I can connect a monitor, I can connect a keyboard, so that's very good because if you need to do something, let's say if you commute, travel, you can do that, you can do all your work basically on this device.
100%, and like I said, this is my laptop replacement now, so when I'm going to business meetings, for example, or where I'm in the office working, rather than carrying a traditional laptop that's usually around 1.5 kilos, for example, this is pretty much closer, like less than half the weight of the product. So, in terms of portability, it's super portable, and like I said, you can do everything all on here, with the fact that you can connect it to an external monitor. It's not just a 7-inch display. If you want a larger display, you can connect it up to a larger display.
Something that I noticed that I think you bumped out the RAM.
Yes.
So now it's 24 gigabytes. Is any difference between the previous version and the new version now? Do you think that this is much better for, let's say, big games?
So in terms of obviously AAA title games at the moment, they are quite heavily focused when it comes to memory. One of the great things about our software Armoury Crate is if you require more dedicated memory in the actual unit itself, it can actually be pushed up to 16 gigs of VRAM. Okay. So it's actually crazy the fact that you can get desktop kind of graphics on something like this. Because the memory is shared between the actual processor and the graphics card, you are freely able to choose how much you are wanting to dedicate to the graphics card all through software. So if you're playing indie games, obviously you don't require much memory, but when you're playing AAA title games, let's say for example Call of Duty Black Ops 6, that came out on Friday, which was 2 days ago, this can actually run Call of Duty Black Ops 6 very well.
So you can play this game right now?
Right now. One of the great things about it is included in Xbox Game Pass. When you purchase this product, you get 3 months of it included, so straight away for a customer base, you are spending $799 on the product, which means you get all of these kind of benefits in one place. You don't have to buy any additional games from day one.
I think that's amazing packaging, especially with the price and all the functions that you have. Again, you mentioned this is not just a handheld. This is a portable PC that you can use it for everyday use, for multitasking. I think this is brilliant.
It's the future, and I think that's the most important thing. We're so used to obviously laptops and desktop PCs, but realistically, when you're traveling a lot like myself, always going on flights, for example, traveling from hotel to hotel, it's quite difficult to carry your PC with you. So what's the solution to this? The ROG Ally. Obviously, it's a niche product. It's not going to be for every single customer, but for those that are interested in the power of a gaming desktop PC or also a laptop, but don't want to have the kind of heavy weight behind it, you have the portability of something like this in a handheld.
That's amazing. And something before we finish is about the design. So there's any difference before the previous design and the new design?
So very, very big difference. In terms of the screen, we use the exact same screen. So it's a 7-inch Full HD. It is touchscreen display with 120 Hertz, which is fantastic. Now, one of the things that is very, very different from the previous model is the fact that we've included an extra Thunderbolt cable. So rather than having one charging port now, you have 2 places, one for charging, one for outputting. Not only that as well, the back buttons are much more smaller now compared to the previous generation. So when it comes to grip, you get more ergonomical grip. So when you're playing games for a longer period of time, it's much more comfortable. And say, for example, the previous model, the buttons were quite big, so you might have accidentally misclicked it. But for example, with this one, I can play solid 3.5 hours without having to misclick any buttons. The great thing is about these buttons is you can customize it depending on the video game you play. So these are kind of also shortcuts there. But in terms of obviously the unit itself, the most important thing about upgradability or the differences between this and the previous model is mainly battery life, the storage option from 512 to 1 terabyte, so battery life from 40 watt hours to 80 watt hours, and also the RAM from 16 gigs to 24 gigs of DDR5 memory.
I think this is brilliant. Well, thank you very much for all the information that you give me today. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna leave all the links and descriptions down below so people can check the new device.
Perfect.
And that was brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Hope you have a great day, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you.